This is Dr. Steve with Rockwall CPR and our series called What a Save. And this is incredible. Look at the title of this article: No heartbeat for 70 minutes, but CPR saved him. Let's get into it. David Mills went into cardiac arrest on April 8th, 2023. It took 70 minutes of CPR to restore his regular heartbeat. Here's the chain of events. It started at 1:30 in the morning. It wasn't enough time for me to wake him up and say anything to me. His arms were by his sides. I lifted up an arm and it fell right back down. I shook him. There was no movement. She called 911 and her 25-year-old grandson began CPR with over-the-phone guidance from the emergency dispatcher. Chest compressions and a few attempts by Georgia at mouth to mouth kept David's blood moving for the 5 minutes that passed before emergency medical personnel arrived. Then they attempted to shock David's heart back into regular rhythm using a defibrillator. But that failed, so an automatic CPR machine was used to give compressions. They took him by ambulance to the hospital, and CPR had been underway for 35 to 45 minutes. Usually, when cases pass 20 minutes, the survival rate goes down, said the doctor. Most of the diagrams they have for measuring mortality, the probability of death, they usually don't go past 50 minutes or so, because at that point, the mortality, death, is very, very close to 100%. So they kept going and they kept going and they kept going. His heart showed that his heart was still locked in ventricular fibrillation. So the lower chambers of his heart were not beating completely and fully, and they were irregular. He had pulseless electrical activity, and they kept going. And at the 70-minute mark, another dose of medication and another defibrillator shock brought his pulse back into normal rhythm. Wow, what a story. What's the lesson here? Never stop. Learn CPR today. If not for the actions of the family, he wouldn't be alive. Learn CPR. rockwallCPR.com.